Caitanya Caritamrita Adi Ch, Chapter 4, believe that, yes, the confidential reasons for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I was told to share something from these few verses. Text number 171 to 178. We will chant some of these verses together. Dev Kama Prema Bahuta Antara Kama Andh Tamha Prema Nirmal Bhaskar Ataiva Kama Prema Bahuta Anantar Kama Andh Tamha Prema Nirmal Bhaskar Ataiva Kama Prema Bahuta Antar Kama Andh Tama Prema Nirmal Bhaskar Ataiv, therefore, Kama Prema in lust and love, Bahuta, much antar, space between. There is a very Bahuta antar, means there is a very big difference between Kam and Prem, lust and love.
Prabhuji, can you raise the screen so we can read translation together?
Yes. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay. Synonyms, therefore, Kama, Prema, lust and love, Bahuta, much antar, space between Kama, lust, Andh Tamha, blind darkness, Prema, love, Nirmal, pure, Bhaskar, sun. Translation. Therefore, lust and love are quite different. Lust is like dense darkness, but love is like the bright sun. We'll read a few more verses and then we can speak. Ataiv gopi ganera nahi kam gandh Krishna sukha lagi matra Krishna se sambandh. So now Krishnadas Kaviraj will explain how love is like a bright sun. He's going to prove, especially Gopi's love. Gopi Ganar of the Gopis, nahi not kama gandh, the slightest bit of lust. Nahi kama gandh. The Gopis, they did not have any slightest bit of kama, lust. Krishna Sukh, the happiness of Lord Krishna, Lagi Matra, for only Krishna, Lord Krishna say that Sambandha, the relationship. The relationship between Lord Krishna and Gopi, that was the love in between Krishna and Gopis, was that what they can do, what Gopis can do to give happiness to Krishna. Krishna Sukh Lagi Matra. Krishna says Sambandha. That was the relationship to give happiness. Text 173, this is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. O dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breast, feeling that your feet will be hurt. Our life rests only in you. Our minds, Gopis are saying to Lord Krishna, our minds therefore are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles as you roam about on the forest path in Vrindavan. Gopis are thinking like that and sharing. So there is no purport to that. Verse 174, Atma Sukha Dukhe Gopira Nahika Vichar. So gopis are not worried about their own Sukha Dukha. In their personal, Atma means in their own personal happiness, stress. They're not concerned. Krishna Sukha Haitu Cheshtha Mano Vyavahar. So their activities, their thinking, their feeling, their willing, Mano Vyavahar, from the mind, their only business is Krishna Sukha Hetu. How Krishna is pleased. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 177. This one. The gopis do not care for their own pleasure or pains. All their physical and mental activities are directed toward offering enjoyment to Lord Krishna. Directed. So their vyavahar, their business, their day-to-day activity, physical and mental both, is only for Krishna Sukha. 175. Krishna lagi aur sab kare parityag. Krishna Sukha hetu kare shuddha anurag. They renounced everything for Krishna. Parityage. They renounced everything for Krishna. They gave up. They have pure attachment to giving Krishna pleasure. Krishna Sud Anurag. Anurag is attachment. Then there is verse again. Krishna says, Oh, my beloved gopis, you have renounced social costumes, social customs. The word is here is Loka Veda Swanam. You have given up the Vedic injunctions. Loka mean the popular customs that, ladies should be shy, they should stay home. Those are popular customs of the village. Ujjita, you rejected. For me, Artha, Madartha, for me, you have rejected the village etiquettes and even the Vedic injunctions. So Krishna is feeling grateful. And your relatives, for my sake, I disappeared behind you only to increase your concentration upon me. This is something from the rasa dance pastimes. Since I disappeared for your benefit, you should not be displeased with me. Created a Viraha Bhav from Srimad Bhagavatam 177. Krishnera परित्याग एक आचे पूर्व हईते जे जायचे भजे Krishna tare bhaje taiche. Translation. Lord Krishna has a promise from before to reciprocate with his devotees according to the way they worship him. And now this verse from Bhagavad Gita. Ye yatha ma prapadyante tamste bhajamyam mam vartamananu vartante manushya partha sarvasha. In whatever way my devotees surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. Read purport together. Krishna was never ungrateful to the gopis, for he has, for as he declares to Arjuna in this verse from the Bhagavad Gita 4:11, he reciprocates with his devotees in proportion to the transcendental loving service they render unto him. everyone follows the path that leads towards Him, but there are different degrees of progress on that path. And the Lord is realized in proportion to one's advancement. The path is one, but the progress in approaching the ultimate goal is different. And therefore, the proportion of realization of this goal, namely the absolute personality of Godhead, is also different. Please note these words. Progress in approaching the ultimate goal is different. Because the progress is different, the intensity of approaching Krishna, the method of approaching Krishna, the intensity of that method is different. Therefore, the proportion of his reciprocation, Krishna's reciprocation to his devotees, is also different. Is also different. The gopis attained the highest goal. And Lord Chaitanya affirmed that there is no method of worshipping God higher than that followed by the gopis. So these are the few verses. There are 200 and I think 200, almost 273, 275, 70. 277 verses. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has put his he invested his intelligence, but also all the stories he has heard from Srila Subrup Damodar Goswami, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, sitting on the bank of Radha Kund. He's now is bringing everything together. He's putting all those nuggets of wisdom and stories and the Vedic injunctions, everything he's putting in this garland of his offering in the form of Caitanya Caritamrita, and offering us that garland to the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These are somewhat very confidential pieces of information. That's why Srila Prabhupada mentioned the study of Caitanya Caritamrita is a postgraduate study. So, in this particular chapter, chapter 4, the various reasons are being given for reasons for the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 550 years or so ago on this planet Earth in Navadvip Dham. External reasons. Who would like to share external reasons of Mahaprabhu's appearance?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Is that to satisfy the Advaita Acharya prayer?
Wonderful.
And to give a Vraja Prema and to establish Yuga Dharma.
Wonderful. To establish the Yuga Dharma of Harinam Sankirtan.
Sankirtan.
Harinam Sankirtan. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram Kevalam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quotes that verse. And yes, to fulfill the desire, the calling of Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu for the Lord to appear. So that these are external reasons. And now it's this juncture in this chapter, towards the end now, it's 170. We read 171 and few verses. I think it started from 150 or so. The last, say, almost 100 verses of this chapter, they're dedicated to the internal reason. The three internal reasons that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared because of those three internal reasons. The first one is his Mahaprabhu Krishna himself in Goloka when he somebody's there is on. So everybody can mute. Thank you. When you're ready to speak, you please unmute. So it's explained when Lord Krishna goes back to his spiritual world after his Braj Leela. When Lord Krishna is meditating, is thinking in his abode that Srimati Radharani's service, her love, her reciprocation is unparalleled. I must broadcast. So in that broadcasting Srimati Radharani's glory, there are 3 points Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is thinking. One is the greatness of Srimati Radharani's love for Lord Krishna. How great that love is. So I was thinking, if you're standing in the temple hall and Krishna, Shri Radha Shyam Sundarji wants to know the greatness of your bhakti, this is what's happening. This is what Krishna is thinking. So Krishna might decide that I will go off the altar and take the form of my devotee who is standing in that hall with folded hands, paying obeisances to me, serving me, chanting for me, doing bhajan for me. And then I will understand the glory of my love, greatness of my love. There is something in me that Srimati Radharani loves, and that greatness of Srimati Radharani can only be relished by me if I take her form, her body. So Krishna decides to take the body of Srimati Radharani, and that's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the first reason. To understand the greatness of love of Srimati Radharani, Lord Krishna takes the form of her body. The other two reasons are even more subtle. Because they're subtle, therefore, Lord Krishna decides to take the mood and color of Srimati Radharani. Because Lord Krishna decides that I want to understand. There is something very sweet in me that Srimati Radharani is relishing. And what is that sweetness? I don't know. Krishna is saying, I don't know, because I know it's a lot, but I also know that what Radharani, Srimati Radharani is relishing, it's even more than what I know. Therefore, I want to take the mind of Srimati Radharani, emotions of Srimati Radharani. The mood of Srimati Radharani is taken by Lord Krishna in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So second is to relish the sweetness of Srimati Radharani's love. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes the mood and the mind and the emotions of Srimati Radharani. And then third part is the happiness that Srimati Radharani relishes in that loving relationship with Krishna. That happiness can also be enjoyed by Krishna only if he takes the form of Srimati Radharani. So these three reasons: the greatness of Sri Krishna himself. Sri Krishna is the subject. Srimati Radharani is the object in Goloka. But in Chaitanya Leela, the role is reversed. Sri Krishna Chaitanya becomes the object. He comes off the altar. So these three reasons to relish the greatness of his own loving relationship with the gopis, to relish the sweetness of love of Srimati Radharani, and to relish the happiness that's Srimati Radharani is feeling in the loving relationship. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears. And the verses we chanted, a few of them, they represent the third reason, third internal reason, the happiness that Srimati Radharani is feeling. I will sum this up in with one small anecdote. Maybe you will understand that more clear, because whatever I said so far is philosophy. But there is one example during Srila Prabhupada's time. This is in our ISKCON Calcutta temple. Srila Prabhupada was there, and one of his senior disciples, Achyutananda Swami, was there in the temple. And one of the landlord of those properties, he was also coming to the temple. And he asked Achyutananda Swami that, what do you understand? Who is higher, Radha, Krishna, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So Achyutananda Swami, he asked this Mr. Roy, his name was Mr. Roy. He asked Mr. Roy, he said, you tell me. You're asking the question, maybe you have already a good answer. So Mr. Roy said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is higher than Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna. So Achyutananda Swami said, please explain. So this Calcutta Babu, Mr. Roy, he gave Calcutta example of Rasgulla. He said to Achyutananda Swami, he said, if I give you milk and if I give you sugar, they both are nice, tasty, healthy in their own way, in their sweetness especially. But what if I give you milk and sugar properly, in proper proportion, properly cooked rasgulla? Then is that higher? Rasgulla sweetness is more sweeter, higher than just milk and sugar. So that was his logic to prove that Rasgulla is Krishna Chaitanya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And milk and sweets, Radha and Krishna. So Chitananda Swami, at some point he found Srila Prabhupada and he said, let me verify what this Mr. Roy is saying with Srila Prabhupada. So he took this argument to Srila Prabhupada and he said, this discussion has happened in between me and the landlord. And landlord gave me this logic and he proved to me that how Sri Krishna Chaitanya is higher. What do you think, Prabhupada? So Srila Prabhupada thought for a minute and then he said, actually, Shrimati Radharani is the highest. And then he qualified that statement. He said, because her love for Krishna is the highest. Her service to Lord Krishna, what we read in these verses, is her and Gopi's service for Krishna. Leaving all the relatives behind, the Vedic injunction behind, the Loka Vyavhar behind, and serve Krishna. We say in Hindi, Tan Man Dhan. It's more deeper. Sometimes we say to the devotees, we're grateful to you because you're serving Radha Shyam Sundar with Tan, Man, Dhan. Tan is body, Man is mind, Dhan is mind, Lakshmi. But this love of gopis for Krishna is beyond Tan, Man, Dhan also. Much, much beyond. We can only imagine it. So Srila Prabhupada qualified. He said Srimati Radharani is the highest because her service to Krishna is the highest. Remember that verse, proportion. Progress is not intense, therefore Krishna's reciprocation is also not intense. That verse. Ye jatha mam prapadyante tamste jamya. So Srimati Radharani is the highest because her service is the highest. Then Srila Prabhupada showed some pictures to Chitananda Swami. He said, look, here in this picture, Srimati Radharani is upset with Krishna. Her head is in man, is in pride because Krishna has not reciprocated proportionally to her mood. She is a bit upset and Krishna is touching her feet with his head down. That proves that Radharani is the highest. So that's a Madhurya. But even in Vatsalya, then Srila Prabhupada showed Achyutananda Swami another picture where Krishna is carrying the sandals of Nanda Maharaj. Krishna is carrying sandals of his fathers on his head. So then Srila Prabhupada closed his answer by saying, Krishna's devotees, in this case, obviously the topmost devotee, Srimati Radharani, and Nanda Baba, and Yashoda Mai, and the Gopas, and Uddhavas, and Arjuna, and Viduras, and the Pandavas. Srila Prabhupada said Krishna's devotees are the highest. So now we can take that 180-degree turn and see why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared as a devotee. Because that's where the highest rasa is available. Rasa of loving relationship with Krishna is available to a devotee of Krishna. That rasa can be more intense in proportion than what Krishna can relish himself. Devotee might relish more because of Krishna's grace, his mercy. He wants devotees to win. In Braj Leela, he wanted Balaram and all other his friends win. Madhu Mangal wins, he lose. Arjun wins, he lose. Vidura wins, he can lose. Uddhava wins, he can lose. Uddhava stays back, Krishna leaves. So I will stop here and I'll give you 5 minutes. I need to log out in maximum 5 to 10 minutes. I have another meeting at 8, but we have to eat something. So if you would like to share something in the next 5-10 minutes, I would like to hear your realization, your reflection, what you've been hearing so far. I read, for me to speak on 171 verse, I honestly read all 170 before the 171 to actually also come on the same page as all of you are. So if you like to share some nectar, what you have heard today or in last few weeks and months, what you remember, please share your heart. Floor is yours. Mic is yours. Hare Krishna. You can unmute yourself, or I can. I don't think I can. No, actually, I can. I'm co-host.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, nice class. Can you explain that verse 173? They say, oh, clearly be loud. Your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breast, fearing that your feet will be hurt. So what is the Gopi saying? The Gopi saying Krishna to put his leg on a breast. I didn't follow this sentence. Our life rests only in you. Our minds, therefore, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles, as you know about on the forest path.
Yeah.
Can you explain that 173 verse writing?
Yeah, it's yeah, more than it's. These are the verses from like it's Braja mood. The point here is in the verses that they're saying your feet are so soft that we are very much concerned, because gopis had the touch and the feel of Krishna's lotus feet on their bodies. So they knew by that experience that his lotus feet are supremely soft. So now they're concerned. They're saying our minds are filled with anxiety that when you take, because Krishna did not put shoes in Vrindavan, in Braj Lila, right? Sometimes Yashoda Mai, Nanda Baba, they wanted him to put shoes, and he said, I will put my shoes if you put shoes on all my cows. All these lakhs of cows Nanda Baba had, they didn't have shoes. So Krishna said, I don't want to have shoes if my cows don't have shoes. So Krishna was walking in the forest of Braj with his soft, lotus-like feet, and gopis are in anxiety. Like mom is in anxiety, when I see these Nitais and other boys running outside or even in the temple complex. If I see them without chappal, I say, hey, hold on, go put your chappal. Some stone, something, you might get hurt. So here gopis, who they're worried, they're in anxiety.
So that's what they are saying. Put it on my breast. That's what they are just saying, that you will be hurt by out of love. That's what they are talking about here.
Yeah. And their love for Krishna was very deep and intense. So for them, body. Remember all these gopis. See, sometimes we read these verses and we compare gopis with ourselves, because gopis are ladies and Krishna is young, Komaram, Yovanam. He's 16-year-old. So we put our mind in that material consciousness, and it's natural, because we are living in this material consciousness forever, for I don't know how many yonis. So our mind goes there, but Krishna's body and Gopi's body is not made of this blood, flesh, bones, and marrow. They are Shuddha
It is a
Sattva.
spiritual body.
Correct.
It's a spiritual body.
Correct.
And also, previous verse, they say they don't have a slightest taint on the lust in the gopis' love. So it is said 172 that they don't have any, taint in the lust of the gopis.
Correct. So many times, His Divine Grace, our founder Acharya, he intentionally would not say much about these verses. You will see many of these verses in Nectar of Devotion, and Srila Prabhupada said, maybe, hey, most of us should not read those chapters. They're written by Srila Rupa Goswami. We worship that book. But some of these verses where there are intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna in the Kunjas of Braja, Srila Prabhupada was very careful that many of the devotees who live with material consciousness, they can misunderstand and take it cheaply and misbehave in their own lives. Is that all right?
Yeah. And ultimately they say, in verse 75, it says, their pure attachment to the giving Krishna pleasure only.
Correct. But it's just the point point I'm trying to make is that Srila Prabhupada also made this point in many of his purposes, that we can follow on the footsteps of gopis and gopas of Braj, but we don't want to imitate them. We can't
Right.
think like gopis were thinking. If they are talking about body parts, we can't think like, we're not, हमारा अधिकार नहीं है. We're not
Barabar.
qualified to even think like them. We can only follow in their footsteps. Mean they were ready to give their life for Krishna. So can I, in this body of Devakinandan Das, be ready one day to give my life, give my pranadhan to the lotus feet, to the service of my Guru and Krishna? And it could be different from person to person also. It might look different for me than you, than Madhupati, than Singeshwar, than others. But we all have to see what is our adhikar. And many times we don't know also very clearly what is my adhikar, what's my qualification. So then you check in with those seniors that this is what I'm thinking, I can serve Krishna. Do I have this adhikar to even think like that, or I'm imagining? And
Right.
if in that imagining I might make many mistakes and I may misalign myself from the actual path. So yeah, that's the point. That's why Prabhupada was very, very careful about these verses.
Yeah. If you translate word to word, you feel, oh, what is that talking? You feel that disgusted then. But if you understand, then
Yeah,
it makes a sense.
correct.
Thank you, Prabhuji. You have explained very well. Thank you. It's a nice nectar to understand.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being honestly sharing your heart and actually reflecting, actually trying to imbibe and learn. That's you have very motherly and innocent heart, childish like heart, which is very much dear to Krishna's heart. So you qualified, you have adhikar. Thank you. Thank you so much. If no other comment, then we would like to close. It's 7:46. Anybody else has any comment? We'll give a minute. Today I didn't ask anybody to turn on their videos. I was thinking maybe
Prabhuji, your video was not on today. That's what I was thinking. Prabhuji must be doing something or something going on today. That's why I did not ask anybody. I was ready to do that.
No, I had my video. In the beginning I had. I think maybe later on I turned off. Maybe I
Yeah, you turn off. I thought maybe you are giving us a lesson. That's what I was thinking in my mind.
No,
So
no.
instead of telling us turn on, you said, now let me turn off, and what happens?
I'm sorry. I think we should all have on that. That should be the minimum to have at least video on, so we can. Yeah, it's that just bring your attention to the class. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Singeshwar Prabhu, you can close if you like, or you can continue. I will drop.
I think it's fine. I think we can conclude today's session. It's already 7:50.
Perfect.
That's okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Wonderful class. Very nicely narrated, explained. Thank you so much. So we'll continue this. Dear devotees, please join. This is the nectar. This is the cream of everything. Caitanya Caritamrita is generally mentioned that it's a study of PhD of all the transcendental subject matter that we can understand, we can realize from it. Please join, and we will relish this Caitanya Caritamrita. So thank you again. Let's conclude. Vancha kalpatarupasya kripa sindhu bhevacha pattanam pavanebhyo
Pavanam pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo
Vaishnavyo
namaha
namo namo.
Vaishnava ki jai.
Ki jai.
Chaitanya Caritamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
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 Gaudi Vaishnavruddha ki jai. Gaura
Jai.
Premanande Hari
Hari
Hari.
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Nice class.
Thank you.